Hey everybody, welcome. We're gonna do the Algebra 1 Chapter 2 study guide. Here we go. So first things first, you can put that little line down the middle. We want to move everything away from x to isolate it, so we're gonna actually add 18 to both sides. When we add 18 over here to 34, we have a different sign, so we're gonna actually take the difference. So kind of subtract 18 from 34, so you get 16. But since 34 is larger and it's negative, it's a negative 16. So we get negative 16. All right, next we're going to go with number 2. Subtract 7 from both sides. That's 2x equals negative 8. And then divide by 2. And x equals, that's going to become a negative 4. This one right here, we're going to subtract 17 on both sides. This is going to give me 3, but it's negative x equals 3, so a lot of students might stop and say, oh, it's 3, but there's technically a negative 1 right here, so we're going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. That cancels, so x actually ends up being a negative 3. So here we have to distribute the negative 5, and we also have to distribute this negative 1 that's also occurring. And so we're going to get negative 5x. Negative times a negative is a positive 10. Negative x and negative 2 equals 50. So next I want to combine my like terms. And so when I combine my like terms, I'm going to get negative 5 and negative x, which gives me negative 6. And 10 and negative 2, different sign, take the difference. That's going to be a positive 8 and equals 50. And we're going to continue on by subtracting 8 on both sides. So we get negative 6x equals, this is going to become 42, and divide by negative 6. And we just got to know that 42 is divisible by 6. It goes in 7 times, but since it's a negative 6, we're going to get x equals a negative 7. I meant to say, sorry, negative 7. All right, another problem we're going to distribute, so we get 3x, distribute that, negative 7x and negative 12 equals, again, distribute 2x minus 6. We distribute to both. And then we want to go ahead and move things and combine things. So we get 3x and 7x, that's going to be a negative 4x combined. And then we got minus 12 equals 2x and minus 6. So next I want to go ahead and do is move the smaller x, which is this guy, so 4x, I'm going to move over here. At that same time, I'm going to add 6 to move everything what I want on the right side. So this is going to end up being 6x, and this is negative 6. By both sides by x, or sorry, 6, we should get x equals negative 1. All right, now we want to distribute. And so we're going to distribute, so we get negative 7x, negative 3 times the negative 7 is a negative, just kidding, positive 21. 2 negatives multiplied make a positive, equals 11 minus 7x. Now when I ask which one's smaller, it's kind of a trick question because the smaller one is actually, they're the same. So if we add 7x to both sides, we end up canceling, and we get 21 equals 11, which is false, which means there are no solutions. So I should have wrote that here, no solutions. Nothing I can plug in here would make this equation true. Okay, moving on. Okay, so another one, we got a lot of distributing here to do. There is a negative 1 here, so we have to distribute that. So that's 6 minus 2x minus 7 equals, and again distribute there, negative 2x minus 12 minus 1. We'll combine like terms, negative 6 and negative 7, same sign, they're both negative, so we're going to sum them. So that's negative 2x minus 13 equals, same sign, sum them, negative 2x minus 13. And again, I have a similar problem. I have to add 2x to both sides, but when I do that, they cancel, and I get negative 13 equals negative 13, which is true, which means I have infinite solutions. So any of my solutions will work. Anything I plug in works, which is, pretty convenient. Good for me. Okay. number 8. Oop, screen went dark. Come back. Number 8. So now we're doing proportions. So here we want to cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we get 5 times 28 and 20 times x. 5 times 28, pretty large number. I'm going to double check on my calculator. So I get 140 equals 20x, divide by 20, and x equals, what is that, 7? Pretty sure, double check. Yes, it is. Okay, so same thing, we want to do it again. Run it back again, and we got cross multiplying. This time we have more than one term, so we're going to have to distribute when we multiply in. So we're going to distribute the 6 in, so we get 6x minus 6 times 7, which is 42, and 2 times 2x, which is 4x, and 2 times negative 5, which is negative 10. Move the smaller one first. That's going to be subtracting the 4x on both sides. We get 2x minus 42 equals negative 10. To add the 42 over. So add the 42 over. Start here. We get 2x equals, it's going to become 32. Divide by 2 on both sides. X is going to end up being, what is that, 16, I think? Pretty sure 16. So yeah, we'll go with 16. All right, and then again, cross multiply. And we'll get 6 times x minus 10 equals 5 times 3x plus 6. Distribute, you get 6x minus 60 equals distribute 15x plus 30. I think that's just 30, right? Yeah, just 30, nothing crazy. Just 30. And let's move the smaller guy, which is negative 6. Or 6, so we're going to subtract 6x on both sides. We get negative 60 equals, this is going to be 9x plus 30. And then I'm going to subtract the 30 on both sides. So I get negative 90 equals 9x. And divide by 9. And if I divide by 9, we get x equals negative 10. Alright, so that kind of ends the first bulk of these problems, which is kind of focused more on doing basic algebra. Now we're getting into absolute value equations, which again we set these up slightly different because we have a different way of approaching them. So let's go. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to get the absolute value part by itself. So that's kind of same like how we want to get the variable by itself, but then after that the way things works changes a bit. So we'll go ahead and do that. So first thing I want to divide by negative 4. And so we get 2x plus 6 in absolute values equals negative 32 divided by negative 4, which is going to end up being a positive value, which is important. Always has to equal positive value. If it doesn't equal positive value, then we're kind of in trouble. This won't end up working out for us very well. So it's important that we do it that way. Okay, moving on. We're going to go ahead and now set up our two cases. So we can have 2x plus 6 equal 8, or we can have 2x plus 6 equal a negative 8. Okay, so those are two different outcomes. And so we're going to subtract 6 here. We get 2x equals 2. Subtract 6 here. This time it's going to be adding because they're both negative. So negative 8 and negative 6 gives me a negative 14. And then we divide by 2, which gives me x equals 1, and divide by 2, x equals negative 7. So we actually get 1 and negative 7. So absolute value equations, a lot of times you end up with two different answers or two different equations. So you got to always be careful that you set that up correctly. Alright, moving on. Okay, we got 3 more. Let's get her done. This one's already isolated, so we can go straight to our two cases. So that's what we want to do. And we'll get 6x minus 3 equals 21, and 6x minus 3 equals negative 21. We'll add 3 to both sides. On this side, we end up with 6x equals 24. On this side, we end up with 6x equals negative 18. And then we divide both by 6. X equals 4, and x equals negative 3. So we get 4 and negative 3. Oops, there we go. All right. This next one, we're going to subtract the 3 first. Again, we're trying to isolate the absolute value expression here. And let's get that to be 5. 2x plus 8 equals 30, and then divide by 5. So 2x plus 8 is equal to 6. So those are now where we can do our two cases. So we get 2x plus 8 equals 6, and 2x plus 8 equals negative 6. So subtract 8 on both sides. On this side, I get 2x equals negative 2. Over here, I get 2x equals negative 14. And then we divide by 2. We get x equals negative 1, and x equals negative 7 as our two answers. And last but not least, we want to get, again, it by alone, so we're going to divide by negative 3, but we get x minus 9 equals a negative 7. And that we cannot have. We cannot do that because what happens is we can't have an absolute value set equal to a negative, so we instantly say, no solution, not possible. Whatever comes out of here is going to be positive because it's the distance away from 0. All right, thank you. And there's the bell.